Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I can't speak very loud because my boyfriend is sleeping, but I decided to try this full face of Primark makeup. And if you want to know how I got this look, just keep on watching. So to start, as a primer, I used this vitamin primer that was €4. And this says it's a vitamin enriched skin primer with vitamins B3, B5 and vitamin E. And most of all, I think this primer left my skin very hydrated and it smells very nicely. It is not too much pore reducing though. And next, for foundation, I used my Perfect Finish foundation in the shade Sand, and this one was €3.50. Now I think this one might have been a little bit too dark for me, but I just barely can get away with it. And as it says, it has a medium coverage and a semi-matte finish. I mean, my skin is usually combination too oily and it doesn't feel too matte, it feels a little dewy, but without looking oily. And it also says it has vitamin E. For concealer, I used the My Perfect Color Cream Concealer. I usually use liquid concealers, so the cream was a new discovery, and this one is in the shade Ivory, and I think it's a very nice color match for me. I used a flat brush, so this one says it's a full coverage natural matte finish, and I really thought it has definitely a nice coverage. I used it under my eyes and also as an eyeshadow primer. I also used it to cover a few spots, and it did a very good job overall. By the way, this one was €2. So to set my base, I used the Banana Pressed Powder. It's setting powder and it has a very nice packaging, and this one was €4. So I powdered on top of my concealer and really just all over the face, and overall I think it's a very nice powder. For my eyebrows, I used the 3-in-1 Brow Precision pencil and powder that has a little brush in the end, the pencil on the other end, and if you twist the middle, it has the powder. This one was €3 and it's in the shade Medium. Now I think this one is a little too light for me because my eyebrows are very black, but in the end I kind of really like the finished look. And they feel very natural, which is what I like. For my face, the day I went to Primark, I couldn't find a bronzer, so I used the Havana palette that I already owned. That was €6, and I used the contour shade as a bronzer. Now this one is a little bit dark and very pigmented, so I used a very light hand with it. and I used it mostly on my cheekbones and also a little bit around my face to warm it up. For blush, I got this very simple high pigment blush in the shade So Peachy, and this one was €2.50. I applied it to my cheeks with an angled blush brush, and I really love the color of this. It is in fact very pigmented, as it says in the packaging. I kind of pressed it a little bit and I had to tap off the excess, but I really liked the color it gave me. For highlighter, I used this Gold Digger highlighter that was €3.50. I've seen online and I think this one is some kind of a dupe, I think, for the Kylie ones, and it is very shiny, and for my skin tone I think it's a little dark because when you look at me straight ahead you can kind of see the color. But as a highlighter, if you have a deeper skin tone, this would be very perfect. And I also used it on my brow bone. For eyeshadow, the day I went to Primark, there wasn't a very big choice, so I chose this Earth eyeshadow that has 9 shadows that are 1 gram each, and this was €2.50, so it's very affordable. So I used this shade on the bottom, a little bit all over the lid and on the top of my crease. Then I used this darker brown shade to define my crease. And a little bit all over the lid. Then I used this black shade to darken up my outer corner and the V area. Then I used this very light, almost white shade on my inner corner. And I used a little bit of the shades I had used previously on my crease on my lower lash line. So the shades are a little bit powdery and they're not insanely pigmented, but I think you can kind of build up the pigment, and the overall look was very nice. And then again, I used the highlighter on the center of the lid and I blended it all together. Then I used this eyeliner pencil that I already owned to just tight line my upper waterline, which is something I really hate to do, and I used a little bit of it on my lower waterline as well. For eyeliner, I used this liquid eyeliner that was €1.50. It's really a bargain. That has this brush applicator and it's very liquidy. So I started on the outer part of my eye to do the wing, just following the shape of my lower lid. It is very black, and the other eye doesn't look exactly the same, but I managed to clean it up a little bit with the concealer, and it dries matte. This is probably one of the best eyeliners I did so far. Now for mascara, I already owned one that It doesn't have the price, but I think it was €2. That is the Lash Out Long Lasting Mascara, and it has a plastic wand that is very black, and I used kind of a wiggly motion on my top lashes and also a little bit on my bottom lashes. So this one, I think it's very good for an everyday look. It's not too lengthening, not too volumizing, but it leaves your lashes looking very nice. Now I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I also tried this Wispies false lashes. I've never used false lashes before, and this was a little bit tricky, but I think I managed to put them quite well. I mean, the inner corner of both lashes is kind of hanging up a little bit, but I think for a first time this is not too bad. But I really don't think this is the thing for me, especially because I took like probably good 20 minutes to put them, and it feels very weird. I mean, I can kind of see something hanging out, but I don't know, they kind of look pretty. They're probably a little bit too much to try lashes, and I might try to cut them a little bit next time. Then for my lips, I used the PS Saint or Sinner lip vinyl. This one was €3, and it's in the shade Hidden Dreams. So it's kind of a brown shade, and it glides on very smoothly. It also smells amazing, almost like chocolate. And this is very comfortable on the lips. It looks kind of like a very pigmented lip gloss. And finally, to set the makeup, I used the Fix and Perfect setting spray that was €4, and I just used about 3 or 4 sprays and I let it dry. So this is the finished look. I mean, my favorite items were probably the concealer, the blush. I really like the eyeliner as well. It's incredibly cheap and it performed very well. And I think also the liquid lipstick. So these 4 items were my favorite. I'll probably try to leave somewhat here the total amount that I spent, and the items I didn't like as much, but not for the item itself, but probably because it was not the best thing for me, was the eyebrow pencil that was a little bit light, and the highlighter was not exactly my shade as well. As for the eyeshadows, they're not very pigmented, and I ended up having to use something else to like make them pop, but for the price they're kind of okay. So if you like this look, give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below if you would like me to do more of these videos testing Primark makeup. So that is everything for this video. Don't forget to click the button down below to subscribe and join the world of BeautyCraft. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
And now I can